right now teaching what I need to learn myself over.
Yeah. Are you talking about yourself here?
No, I mean, I teach what I need to learn, that's for sure. So
Did you hear Ryan Reynolds there repeat the same line in 2 different interviews? Let's listen again.
I teach what I need to learn, that's for sure. So
Teaching what I need to learn myself.
This is what happens when the interview questions are agreed upon beforehand and an actor may memorize the lines, but maybe not think about the fact that we might catch these memorized lines so it doesn't come off authentic. Regardless, he is controlling the narrative here and he has control of the interview. Ryan Reynolds seemed to address something else. There was an allegation that he bullied an Asian boy when he was little on his paper route. I'll give you a reminder of what I posted about that. Ryan Reynolds terrorized and bullied an Asian kid who was on the same paper route as him, threw him in the garbage can, threw him in poop, did all this stuff, allegedly, right? Now, so what I found so interesting is that there's an Asian woman who's interviewing him. And I can't help but wonder, did this Asian woman know about this allegation? Did she want to ask him? Did they tell her that she can't talk about that? And he had to control the narrative of whatever self-image he wants to project in this interview. I don't know. I guess we'll never know unless she tells us. But I just found it very interesting. They kind of talk about his childhood, and he references the paper route, presumably the same paper route on which the little Asian boy was bullied by Ryan. And he says the only time that he was ever bad was when he was defending his older brother, because his older brother was 6'10" and would get bullied for being large, tall. And that was the only time that Ryan got in fights and defended, or, was bad. Totally dismissing that maybe he was ever picked on this little Asian boy. Now let's watch that.
And my brother's 6'10". And and you think like, good God, like I don't want to trifle with him, but like he does not want to trifle with you. He's, these are the big, the bigger guy can sometimes be picked on, can be yelled at, and these people feel okay doing that. Every fight I got in as a kid, like physical fight, was in defense of my brother, who's 2 years older than me, because he wouldn't hurt a fly, but he was huge, and he looked imposing.
So I guess Ryan is trying to tell us that alleged story with the little Asian boy never happened.
Well, there's a lot of things we left out of the documentary. Journalists just saying stuff that, you can't believe.
Okay, now here Ryan is telling us that we cannot believe journalists, and he personally called one to confront her or him.
One of them I called this journalist just to say, do you recall this moment?
The fact that he was 12 and he didn't address ever bullying anyone unless they were picking on his 6'10" brother, that's the only time he physically did anything to anyone, and now he's cracking a joke.
It's just, I'm still all up in here.
I'm gonna 12 years old. That's perfect. That's exactly where we want to be.
Yeah.
Because I wanted to ask you,
Backstage, she was like, we don't want yes or no answers.
Oh, and did he just allude to the fact that she was controlling the interview, that he didn't have anything to do with it, that she said, I only want yes and no answers? Okay, Ryan, we really believe that you didn't have anything to do with those answers. Okay.
I was like, lady.
No, this is fantastic, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's fantastic. Absolutely.
Fine.
Yes.
Her laugh and her saying fantastic is not awkward at all.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, but as I said, 12 years old is perfect. One of your first starring roles was 15.
Right.
What was that experience for you, and how did that impact you at such a young age?
I went home, I got home, I resurrected my paper route. That's how I'm gonna make money from this point.
And that's it. He addressed during the time when he was doing the paper route, when he allegedly bullied that little Asian boy, being interviewed present day by that Asian woman. Interesting, right? Who had control of that interview? Was it Ryan or was it her?
I'm okay.
You're just
Yeah,
okay?
Trying to be honest. Yeah, I'm all right. Yeah,
What's
it's
going
like,
on?
Ryan Orangepool Reynolds in a recent interview.
Just like I'm too busy, a little bit too busy. I keep
Oh, let me guess, you're busy scheming new ideas for your wife's case every day.
trying to sort of narrow the focus to let's do 3 things really well instead of 20 things poorly.
Okay, now let's listen to the self-projection when he's actually talking about John Candy and then the interviewer calls him out. Wait for it.
They are reading the room for danger everywhere.
Is he telling us how he operates?
And they're reading the room to make sure that everybody in the room feels seen and heard.
Were you making sure that Eugene Levy was heard and seen at the Toronto Film Festival?
Because John's probably one of the guys that wakes up in the middle of the night thinking about something he said or did or didn't say to somebody somewhere somehow. And that's a very common part of anxiety and everything, lots of us all feel. And
My guess is you woke up in the middle of the night and thought, oops, I snubbed Eugene Levy and I talked down to that little kid who was just trying to interview me. But then again, you do things like that all the time. So does that mean you have anxiety every night?
but his is, I think, much louder. And that's a tough way to live,
Maybe if you don't bully somebody, you won't have to think about it and be worried about it, and you can get some sleep. That would be a good idea.
So tough, but it has gifts. Like you think asymmetrically. You start doing, you can write, you can kind of create, and make stuff work
And here he is complimenting himself as a creative genius.
that shouldn't, like, I don't know.
Are you talking about yourself here?
No, I mean, I teach what I need to learn, that's for sure.
I personally think that the whole interview was a setup, and they agreed to let him self-project while he talks about John Candy, because that's how it works. That's how he runs his PR.
How are you?
I'm pretty good. I'm okay.
Not Ryan Reynolds trying to be like John Candy. He's got the passport to Canada, but not the personality.